One, two, three. Hello and welcome to the X-Men animated review show.
Why did you bring me here?
Oh, well, we brought you here because we're going to review Season 1, Episode 13, The Final Decision.
And just to clarify, we didn't bring you here. You had to have come here and clicked on this link to have gotten here. So, don't ask questions like that. I mean, come on.
You're all fools. Heroic fools.
I love that line so much. This episode was a lot of fun.
This episode was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I feel like this was a great way to end the season. I mean, in the interview, we prior to this live show, we spoke with Eric and Julia Leewald, I pronounced it correctly, who are writers on the show, and there's a bunch of stuff they talked about, which is amazing. One of which being that they thought this season was it. They didn't think there's going to be a second season, so they try to wrap everything up in a nice little package and get almost a best with all the great X-Men stuff into the season. So this one caps it off very nicely in a great way, because this season had a bit of everything, man. Like a little bit of an overcap, I guess. So we got like all the future stuff. We got Genosha. We got Sabretooth and Wolverine's dark history. We got the origin story, the Sentinels, Gyrich, Beast in prison, the Morlocks, like everything. And then this one kind of caps it up with that Juggernaut, Magneto, and then we get that eventual Magneto teaming up with the X-Men story, which is this one. This is the eventual one that always happens in every comic when there's something that happens that they have to put aside their differences, and the fan favorite villain and the fan favorite heroes that we all love have to team up and work together. And I've always loved that trope in series, because it always shows that there might be more to this relationship than just the I hate you, I gotta stop you. I mean, obviously with Magneto and Xavier, we've been established as that before, but I don't know, it's really cool. It's a really good episode.
And you can check out that interview
tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
So or just tomorrow.
From now, I was gonna say, is it Friday? 3 tomorrows from now?
Beast does things wordy and dramatic. And I am your host, the final Davcision, Davin Skelhorn, and joined as always, of course. Yes, by Magnetized mold.
I tried Magnetized mold. Does that sound right?
Magnetized mold.
As I was writing it out, I was like, I don't even know if I can pronounce this right. So I think you did a good job.
Mold.
Magnetized mold.
Yes.
And I love yours. That's very clever. So before these interviews, when we log in, Davin and I just put our names as whatever. I never used to change it until we changed mine on Drabertooth one time, and I thought that was fun. And then I got the bug. So now every episode I'm trying to keep it themed, and I see Davin is as well. So we try to keep it fun here at X-Rated, the X-Men name.
Don't we?
We do.
Don't we?
We do. And I like how we had our interview. Just to drop some snippets for you, so you're interested for tomorrow's show, bonus show.
Bonus show.
Julia calls me out on using X-Rated as the title for the show.
She does.
And Davin throws me right under the bus by saying I gave Andre all these options and he wanted this one. And you know what? I stand by my decision. I think it's a provocative title, and I think it accurately describes what we're doing with the show. Rating X-Men shows. X-rated. Now, come on.
I think you might have just dropped a tidbit they're not going to hear, though. I think that was before we hit record.
Was it? Oh, boo.
I think so.
Well, that was before. However, I do stand by my decision. I think.
But we're telling people now, right under the bus.
That's right. That's right. Throw Andre right under the bus where he belongs.
What's wrong with Andre? He's under the bus.
He's under the bus. What a piece of garbage.
What an egg-sucking piece of gutter trash that final Davcision is.
Yeah. Well, we find after this 13 episodes of the show. I mean, we'll count this one as one of them. We have reached the end of season 1, in which we come to the season finale, the final decision, which we get the culmination of various loosely threaded plot stuff that hasn't been answered already. That comes full circle, mostly around Beast.
But first,
previously on X-Men.
Then there's stuff that happens.
Is there supposed to be words or music, or is this some kind of weird art house project you're doing?
Because it's been magnetized. My watch has stopped. I don't understand.
This
is that important?
I don't understand. Why would that?
Is this your battery?
I don't care what time it is, Professor. Are you late for a dinner?
It's the 90s. You can look everywhere. Everybody's got watches. All right. Most people now do too. I'm just not wearing mine. All right. So here we are with the final decision, the 13th and final episode in the first season of X-Men, the animated series, in which we begin with kind of the recap the previously on, in which they explain that Magneto has taken Senator Kelly after the team had rescued him from the assassination attempt of Mystique under the guidance of Apocalypse. So Magneto brings Senator Kelly, who he kidnapped in the previous episode, to a rusting hull of a ship. I always find this funny in this trope in fiction, when the villain needs to kill someone and then they take them to another location. Like he could have just killed them instantly. All right. Total. Wasted. He's going to waste
a lot of K words there.
Why did he just waste him right there? He's Magneto. He could have collapsed the building on him, killing him and the X-Men, and just got away. But he takes, he explains basically that, and it's also vague on how he knows this, that he knew that this Senator Kelly was going to be assassinated, and it was going to set off this chain of events that would lead towards the eventual war between mutants and humans, which doesn't end well for mutants, I might add, which I'm not sure why, if he knows this much.
Maybe he's in conversation with the Brotherhood already. They're not his Brotherhood yet, but maybe they're like,
maybe. But I mean, I feel though if Magneto knew the future that was awaiting us, that Apocalypse wanted, then he probably wouldn't be so gung-ho to help it happen. But anyway, he goes to
not. The war for survival must begin now, while we mutants are strong and you are still divided.
The mutants are so united.
So that's why there's a whole team of good mutants battling bad mutants at every turn. They're so united. So yeah, he realizes that the initial thing he came to witness did not happen, and decides to enact a contingency plan by taking Kelly to this rusted hull of a ship somewhere, which seems pretty far away from where they were. But while he is about to kill Kelly by dropping a giant piece of machinery on him, the Sentinels arrive, bust a hole through the side of the hull, grab Kelly, take him to safety, and attack Magneto.
This series of Sentinels is made of plastics, not metals.
You got ahead of me.
Sorry.
It's all right. Magneto tried to use abilities on them. He's like, well, you're robots, I'm going to mess you up. And they're like, well, we're made of plastic. But I love that even robots have to answer. Like, why bother? Why bother answering this guy? But the
Sentinels are wordy. It's in their design. I love the Sentinels. They're always hilarious.
They're very polite. They don't let a question hang. They're like, well, we'll give you closure on that question there, Magneto. And this is
state the obvious a little too often, maybe.
We are made of plastic, but then you get a really cool Magneto moment where they like knock him down and they take Kelly away, and then Magneto says, "This whole ship is like your powers are useless on me," and then he says, "This whole ship is my weapon," and starts using pieces of the ship to smash up the Sentinels, which is really cool. Which is nice showing.
But they get him.
They do get him. Well, they you just see one Sentinel go like this. Wait, I got to get it right with the camera.
Yeah.
Whoa. Then, oh no, I almost had it. Damn it. Yeah. And then it cuts to black and we cut to the next. So, I mean, you assume that Magneto probably isn't dead just because it's a kid's cartoon, but they have killed people in the past. Morph. Where's your button?
Guy. Oh, I got my button. Don't you worry about that.
I know you got your button. You're slow with the button.
This one's for you, Morph.
Soon to be a tattoo on Andre's arm.
May he rest in peace. Although I do believe he is quickly coming back. We'll talk about that later. So, so they use the Magneto attack Sentinels using bits of broken ship. Defeat giant robots left for dead. Now, how did the X-Men find? Oh yeah, so
because they went to they look at Gambit's mind, and
that was later though, wasn't it?
Oh no, that's later. Yeah,
that's when they're trying to find
because they know they They found Magneto. They were able to track Magneto. Like,
yeah, but I find that odd because they don't never really established before, But anyway, so they knew it was Magneto. They get the ship. They go after him. They find the rubble of the of what happened. They hear Magneto like groan somewhere. They pull away some wreckage and find him with actually a rare moment of blood in this episode with some scratch blood on his chest. His helmet's not on anymore either, which is cool. I like when he has his long flowing white hair out. It's very, 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 very Fabio. If you were slightly older, and I guess he'd be probably the right age now, and this luxurious locks of long, like white hair that follow behind him.
Are you saying Fabio should play live action Magneto?
No, because Fabio's a terrible actor. But I mean, I could see him in the costume. He's certainly a handsome man, or was. I don't know what he looks like now.
Fabulous.
Fabulous. I like that.
It's me, a sentinel. It takes a whole sentinel to scare most people.
Yeah, that's another question I asked Lee Waltz was why Wolverine seems to hate Gambit so much, because he really picks on him a lot. So yeah, when they're looking through the rubble, they find an armor of Sentinel, to which that exchange happens, and then they find Magneto and take him back to the mansion to heal. In question.
Yeah.
So at this time, we've discovered that Senator Kelly's been taken by the Sentinels to Bolivar Trask, who still lives. I love how this guy's like the eternal cockroach of the series. Like he just continues
building Sentinels.
Like all this stuff happened. This is like the third time we've encountered him in which all of his Sentinels got blown up and he almost got killed, but he managed to escape. Even in this time where it really seems like he's dead, he still manages to escape. But Kelly Trask sent his Sentinels to go rescue Kelly when he realized he's in danger. There's the Master Mold, either a new Master Mold or perhaps the one from before. I'm not quite sure. It's the one.
I think it's the same one.
Cable. Well, it was washed away when Cable blew up the old Sentinel factory in Genosha.
Yeah, but it takes more than that to destroy this thing. Remember, they just set a big propane tank off on it, and it didn't do anything to it.
That is true. Although.
Well, we'll talk about that later, won't we?
All right, we sure will.
Return Senator Kelly to his campaign headquarters.
No.
Oh, there's no more? It explains the whole thing. Where's the rest? I love the Sentinel voice.
I have this.
I am giving the orders now.
Oh, you want all the good stuff. Okay, fine.
When he explains the whole point.
Remove Senator Kelly's brain and replace it with a computer.
What?
My Sentinels are bringing me leaders from all over the world. In time, all of their brains will be replaced.
All of the brains!
Like, okay, I don't know. Like, okay,
what?
So Trask, yeah, I love that response. I don't even think it's even related to the fact that how crazy that plan is. I think it's also to the fact he's a robotics expert. I don't know if he's a let's put computers instead of brains in human bodies expert. I mean, that's a whole physiology, biology, like connection of those two parts. Like, it's insanity. The robot's you made me, so let's put a computer in your brain. So yes, the Sentinel Master Mold has this plan to change all these world leaders into mind control with robot brains.
All the brains.
But he has an interesting motivation, which is revealed later. It's not quite just to destroy the world or whatever most of these machines want to do. He wants to actually bring peace to the world and stop.
Which may come up in my 5 points later.
Ooh, well, we'll get to that
on
too.
some level.
And we'll get to his motivations to that later, which is a nice little moment too. So we need to find out where the Master Mold is after we figure out that the Sentinels and the Master Mold is still at charge.
Where are we supposed to start looking, Sugar? Sentinels or us?
Yeah, that'd be a good place. If there was a business called Sentinels or Us, I would suggest starting your search there, because it'd be a smart decision. I mean, I think Rogue may be onto something. However,
they're on sale.
2 for 1.
Full price for
Sentinels are us. Buy 1 Master Mold and get 1,000 Sentinels free. Sentinels are us. Charles Xavier decides to scan Gambit's mind to figure out what Henry Peter Geigerich looks like, because he's the only one who has seen him.
It's up to you, Gambit. Will you let me scan your memories?
You don't go too far back, no?
Don't go too far. What's he hiding way back there?
It almost sounds invasive. We get a taste of that in a minute, but it almost sounds kind of invasive when he's like, "Will you let me into your memories?" Like it's almost like over, like it's almost kind of like dramatically romantic in a way. It's like, "Will you let me in, Gambit? Will we connect?" So this is a very nice Master Mold picture. It's got not the most flattering of angles though. You got him at crotch level.
That's how they showed him.
That's how they do. Yeah. So they scan Gambit's brain, and we mostly see all these little clips of different points from the show itself. But we get one little flash of this, indicating that at some point in Gambit's sordid history, he encountered the Ghost Rider.
It looks like Ghost Rider. Looks like
Ghost Rider is advancing on him. And it looks like it's in like a sewer, which sounds terrifying. And like to fight Ghost Rider in a darkened sewer. And just to point out and extend my nerd cred, that is the Danny Ketch version of Ghost Rider, the second Ghost Rider, and the one that was Ghost Rider in the 90s, when Johnny Blaze retired and basically stuck around, but just not as a Ghost Rider. Before we got the Robbie Reyes version and some of the other ones that have come later on. But at that point, it was Danny Ketch, who later on, I believe they kept around as a Ghost Rider, but I don't know if they changed his name or he's just a different Ghost Rider. Because at one point there were a bunch of Ghost Riders running around. There's Johnny Blaze again, there was Danny Ketch, and there was Vengeance, who was a cop.
There's Alejandra Blaze, and there's been a lot of Ghost Riders,
Alejandra Blaze.
Alejandra Blaze.
Sounds a lot like
Circle of Four. He had a big scythe.
Oh, right. That was the female Ghost Rider. Sounds a lot like Alundra Blaze, the female wrestler from WCW.
Oh, yeah, her.
Yeah. It's a little close. Gotta say.
Could be a nod. Could be a nod.
The Marvel office. So then they see a little glimpse, which is cool. I mean, I like that little nod to Gambit's dark past. So we see what Geiger looks like and gives Charles Xavier the way to look for. And the X-Men then travel to actually first they go hunt down Gygrick, who's like in a who's in a car driving somewhere, and they're like, what did you remember what Cyclops says to Storm?
Yes, take him down gently, and she's just like, gently as the fallen snow.
No.
What do you mean, snow?
So I can answer that. Snow is a Canadian rapper from the 90s.
Informer, yes.
Informer.
A seminal
but
song.
Also very cold water.
We all had to learn about, I think that's the worst description I've ever heard of snow in my life. You don't even admit that it's a solid. You're just like, it's cold water.
Yeah, it's cold water.
So
really
I love
cold.
that Cyclops says, take him down gently. And Storm's like, goes up, rains snow down, their car careens off the road and hits a tree. That's
gently.
He's like, gently, and she just goes straight into the tree. Like, it's insane.
Storm's like, they didn't have snow chains
because they probably didn't expect it to snow in a temperate climate.
Yep.
Anywho, so then the X-Men attack him. He runs away and shoots a laser gun at them, because in this cartoon we can't show bullets, just lasers. That's everybody's a laser gun in this world. So and we talk about that with the Leewalds, which is cool too.
We do.
So yeah, then they eventually track him down and say, Master Mold's out of control. Blah blah blah.
It's too late to stop them. He's made thousands of Sentinels. Thousands.
At your behest.
It was I was about to say that's his friggin' idea.
Yeah, it was your idea. You definitely had a big hand in this, so don't go too righteous there, buddy.
Can't be stopped. So you just like greenlighted something that if it goes wrong can't be stopped.
Yeah,
that was your thing.
What you want to do is make a weapon that thinks for itself, and then give it away to continually replicate itself en masse without stopping, and then send it out into the world, hoping it all goes according to plan. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, obviously, the government, the American government, is hard at work, being efficient in keeping each other safe, because the government's never done anything dubious on the global stage. I'd say not the American government anyway.
Certainly not.
Never. Bay of Pigs. What? Anyway, moving on.
The X-Men trying to decide if they're going on a mission.
So then they travel to the Sentinels base, where they because Geiger tells them where it is, or that's right.
Oh, we can't skip over that. This is like the best Cyclops moment of the whole show so far.
Oh, that is true.
If somebody doesn't stop him, there'll be no future worth living in.
We're with you, Psych.
I'll be in the Blackbird.
No hesitation from Cyclops.
Cyclops the man.
He's the man. He's like, let's get it done. Are we doing it?
Get a little more of that Gambit. Like, I don't think these people are worth saving. And then he's not really going to join the group until all the rest leave and look back at him. And then he kind of sighs and goes with them, which is nice, showing that he's part of the group, but also still honing in on some of the little darkness in Gambit, which I like. They do a really good job.
Until Cyclops pipes up there, no one is really feeling the plan. Storm's even like, well, we're probably all going to die.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you're going to fight thousands of Sentinels at once, and the fact that they all survive this is outrageous. But it's a cartoon, so I'll let it slide. I mean, if they're going to kill off Morph, this may have been a good time to do it. But
I just like I'll be in the Blackbird.
He's like disappointed they're all not so gung ho to go on a suicide mission. It's like, I'll be in the Blackbird.
The brave are always the first to die.
So they do have a little bit of interactions with Magneto before they all take off, of course. Who is ever?
He's telling them not to go. He's like, you're fools.
Yeah, and then he says that line when they take off in the Blackbird, which is nice. Like I said, I always like that Magneto's. I mean, he's a villain first, but like he's one of those villains you can relate to his anger. It's like I mentioned in our interview with Lee Welts that the it's like Killmonger in the Black Panther movie. You can understand their point. I mean, you may not agree with their methods, but you can understand their point. In fact, I really want to get a Magneto was right t-shirt because I think he was. Although I don't necessarily agree with his methods. I do think
I want to put that in the fine print on the shirt.
I mean, when
on the back, though, I don't seriously endorse all of his methods,
especially in Grant Morrison's run when he was going to swap the magnetic poles and like destroy the world, basically, or totally like kill en masse extinction level event. So yeah, maybe not that, but he was high on a drug, and then later on they retconned it that wasn't even him. So whatever.
What was it, Zorn or Joseph?
It wasn't the real Zorn. It was Zorn's brother, right?
Oh, right.
That was it gets so complicated. I think that should be it's complicated by Avril Lavigne should be like the theme song for most comics. It totally speaks to us as a generation. Anyway, so they take off. Magneto has that nice little moment where he watches them sadly go away and says this little line. Then the X-Men are off on their way to a side mission. So when they get there,
just going down that elevator, and Cyclops like, get ready.
Yes, I like how it's a big secret base full that makes Sentinels, and they have an unguarded elevator. You just can walk into the place and take the elevator down to the sub base where all the secret shit's going on. Like no guards. I mean, Sentinel. Yeah, they send a card down that's been juiced up by Gambit. So when I love
appears to be the ace of spades,
and it puts his face right up to it. Like it can't get any closer. The Sentinel couldn't get any closer.
Appears to be. It'd be funny if like the Sentinels are locating mutants and stuff, and they see Jubilee like running down the street, and they're just like, "Is that a mutant?" And they're just like, "Get right down." Yep, that appears to be a mutant. Halt, mutant.
They're highly advanced computers. We've seen their eyes zoom in on things and pick them out, and they need to get right into the card. Like, it's the ace of spades.
It was pure comedy that scene, but it worked.
It's pretty great though. Yeah, I think it totally works. It's. If you think about it too much, it falls apart, but most things do anyway. But it's lovely. Like, it also, instead of just saying a playing card, it's the ace of spades. Like it's
the ace of spades,
which I thought was wonderful.
It's good to know the Sentinels are, informed on games and human pastimes.
Yeah. Well, there's also a moment earlier which I failed to when they're going off on their mission where Jubilee, like Wolverine says, "You're staying behind." She says, "No, I'm an X-Man. I can do this. I need to do this or whatever for our, And then Wolverine says, "I feel the same way," and lets her come. And then she does show that she's, not. She's a part of the team and actually, a formidable opponent as well. Because
still 13.
Yeah, well, there might be some questionable things about throwing a 13-year-old, even one with powers, into a war zone. But look at Spider-Man. He's been a superhero since he was 15.
Oh yeah, and Xavier doesn't worry about little things like that.
No, he's not a mutant. We don't care about that guy.
No, I mean the Jubilee
in general,
thing. In general, he's just like, whatever. Let's put young people in danger.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to say that Xavier is some kind of an African-style dictator making child soldiers, but it's not too far away from the reality here. And he does have a whole school full of children that he's training to be an army, essentially. I mean, for good, but still.
I'm also not going to say that.
We have like a graphic of Xavier in like the Gaddafi outfit, with all the shoulder pads and the hat. There was an episode of this is a real big side note, but of the Daily Show where they're comparing Trump to like an African dictator, just some of his decisions and some of this stuff. And as they keep flashing back to pictures of Trump, they add more of that costume onto him. Like he's got the tassels and the shoulders, and then the hat, and then the sunglasses, and like everything. Like it was really really good. We'll do that with Xavier. So so basically what happens is they put a lure by sending the car down, causing this explosion, bringing all the Sentinels up to attack them, while there's like an A team and a B team. Essentially the A team is a distraction, which is Rogue, Storm, and Jubilee, who are on the up on the outside, fighting all these Sentinels.
I don't know how long Rogue and Storm can keep the Sentinels busy.
They're doing pretty good. Storm's laying waste to tons of them.
He also doesn't mention Jubilee's up there too. He's like
in the kid.
Hey, she killed at least two.
And a kid.
She killed at least two. She almost had a third, but then the Sentinel got her from behind. But then and Rogue shows some impressively powerful. She picks up like a train car and something bigger than that, something massive that she like launches through a Sentinel, which is pretty impressive as well, showing the strength of her powers, which I believe we learn about later when we get into the root of her powers. Probably more connections to Mystique and Captain Marvel.
Probably one of the bigger displays of strength we've seen her do so far, though.
Yeah, I agree. Totally.
She's mostly just been flying around and absorbing powers.
So Jubilee managed to get a couple Sentinels. Anyway, while this is happening, the rest go downstairs and encounter Bolivar, who's still trying to plead for some semblance of, sanity from this master mold that he's created. That and basically he's saying like, I designed you to save mutants from humans, to which the master
that is not logical. Mutants are human.
I like to leave in those little
that revelation like shocks him to his very core. It's like, I mean, of course they're humans. They're born.
I never thought about that. You're right, they are.
Two humans can make a mutant. What do you think it is? Like, it's not a different species. Like, it's so like you're a goddamn scientist that can put computers into people's brains. Like, what do you?
I think they're aliens.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he's like, it's like Hank Hill. He's like, oh, he's just totally shocked.
I do not have to destroy because I do not fear.
And I do not fear because I do not hope.
He doesn't say that.
Nobody could have. If he was waxing a little more poetic.
You're just waxing metaphysical poetics on this machine. Also, I love that every robot's motivation at this time period in fiction, but also it still is something. It's got to be logical. It's like everything is like, that is not logical. Humans are
still programmed with Asimov's laws.
So the Sentinel saying, it was designed to protect humans essentially from ourselves, even, which is what it's doing by taking over the world through mind control of the bodies of its leaders. I think it'd be interesting if his plan succeeded. Do you think the public would buy these humans that are being controlled by Master Mold, especially if they talk the way Master Mold did? Like, this is your president. This time it would have been Bill Clinton. I will show you the proper way to run a country. I guess he wouldn't have had any of that sex scandal stuff. That's for sure.
President Clinton.
So, and then of course Geiger hears this as well, I believe, who is the first to who's going to get his brain replaced with a computer. But the X-Men intervene and rescue him and battle Master Mold. I believe at that point it's just Jean Grey and Cyclops that rescue Geiger, right? Because at the same time, we got Wolverine.
Kelly,
Gambit,
they rescued Kelly, wasn't it?
Kelly, sorry, you're right. Because at the same point, we have Gambit and Wolverine. And I know I made the joke earlier that Gambit's, Wolverine seems to hate Gambit, but Wolverine does certainly come to his rescue, and they counter a bunch of Sentinels in a different tunnel. He pushes Gambit.
I'm going after Wolverine and Gambit. I'm not leaving anyone behind. Not this time.
Yeah, that Morph.
What's he talking about?
This one's for you, Mark.
Yeah, Wolverine and Gambit down there.
You afraid of the dark? I smell sentinels.
They're made of plastic. What is he smelling? Oil?
I smell something greasy. Isn't that what he said? He's just smelling Gambit.
Oh yeah, right. So they get ambushed by the Sentinels. Wolverine pushes Gambit to safety, locks him behind a conveniently placed door, and then goes after the Sentinels. We get all these weird interesting little animation of Wolverine like hopping from the beams in the darkness between when they're shooting at them, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
it's a neat little effect.
It's the best. Most effective we've seen Wolverine, because normally he's like the warp of the show when he just gets thrown away to show how tough the villain is.
But like they're in the dark tunnel, you just see the flashes of the lights from their hands, and you just illuminate him as he's dodging them all and taking Sentinels down from the legs with his claws, which is pretty cool.
It was pretty awesome scene.
Yeah, I agree. Gambit, who of course is not going to just take all this line down, blows the hole through the door, comes through to help Wolverine, who's already pretty messed up at this point. But Gambit manages to save him back, essentially. And we get some cool use of Cyclops' powers here, because as Cyclops goes back to rescue them, he basically so when Cyclops is like, I'm going back to save them, you get Kelly out of here, with Jean Grey, and then he just like blasts a hole through the wall, the underground wall. He doesn't even go through the door, he just blasts. I don't even know how he even knows where he's going. Like, there's no direction signs, there's no path. Just blasts a hole right through the wall and just runs through the rubble as he's blasting it away. And then Wolverine
blows the hole up through the top, and he just like crawls out. It's like, did you blast stairs or like a ladder or something?
First, Wolverine and Cyclops, or Wolverine and Gambit are fighting these Sentinels, and then he just comes right through the wall, like out of nowhere. Just like, which is an interesting take on his powers. You've never seen him do anything like that before. But he's like a fucking mole. He just tunnels his way, just uses the beam and tunnels behind it, and just runs. And it's kind of interesting, actually. Yeah. So then Jean gets to the top with Kelly and make sure all the other people are okay. And then, Cyclops busts out from the ground. Sorry, I did miss a key point. So during the when they take Kelly away, Bolivar Trask realizes the extent of his creation. That he had this Victor Frankenstein moment where he realized that his creation is a monster. And there's a conveniently placed propane line right beside him that he turns his laser onto. So when Cyclops runs off to rescue him and Jean Grey and Kelly are leaving, he's prepared to blow up the base and kill the Sentinel. And kill Master Mold and stop the Sentinel production. But the Sentinels are still up top, a bunch of them fighting everybody. So the Master Mold goes to stop him by grabbing the laser. It even says something interesting when it does that. What does it say? Do you remember? Do you have that keyed up?
No.
I can't remember what it says.
I don't.
Anyway.
Oh, he's just like, I must not be destroyed or something like that. Or I can't. No, that's when he bursts out of the mountain. I cannot be destroyed.
He says something anyway. But anyway, so it blows up. They get out just in time. The Sentinels all get a note that the Master Mold's in trouble, so they all run back in after him. Which is quite a convenient plot device, because they all go right back into the thing that's about to explode as it explodes, killing all of them, and essentially Master Mold, and what you assume Bolivar too. Unfortunately, it is not true. So then the mountain beside them explodes, and Master Mold busts out of it, still surviving the propane explosion, as seen in the image behind you, which is actually a really cool visual with him silhouetted by the moon like that.
Yeah.
And then as he's saying I can't be destroyed, and the mutants are already
Blackbird.
Yes.
Then the Blackbird comes flying out of nowhere.
Well, we didn't mention too during the fight with Rogue and Storm and Jubilee, Xavier was piloting the Blackbird, blowing a bunch of Sentinels out of the air too,
with lasers.
With lasers from the gun, yeah. So then we just see Xavier, who comes running in towards the Sentinel in the Blackbird, and you see actually
so cool.
Yeah, and
Magneto comes down, like
you see behind him, it's the Blackbird's full of explosives. It's like TNT and nitro.
That was hilarious.
It was almost comically the amount of explosives
it
he had
was.
packed. So he
It
went
was
there.
Wile E. Coyote.
He went there knowing he was going to do this. He eventually said, "I'm going to be a suicide, bomber on this."
Well, maybe he was doing the contingency if he had to just run the jet into the entire facility, not just Master.
No, that's fair. But also, all the other X-Men were there too. Did he consult with them on this? Do you think he's like, "Hey, I have enough TNT to blow up a mountain here. I'm just going to put it in the plane we're all driving. And you guys cool with that? Yeah, all good. All right."
Cyclops, keep the eyes closed.
He sneezes and the whole thing just goes up. Yeah. So
it's a Halifax explosion all over again.
Oh no, that's too soon.
Too soon.
About that. It was like 200 years.
I can because I live here.
No, it's true. You live in Eastern Passage. It's not Halifax.
That's true.
You shut up.
True.
Anyway, Xavier comes busting in with the plane full of explosives. I guess he didn't intend to blow himself up because he does eject out of the Blackbird.
He did. But he wouldn't have made it had it not been for Magneto, because
he was saved by Magneto.
Sees him coming and shoots the laser at the Blackbird.
Yeah, and then Magneto.
And that looks so cool. Magneto's just hovering over top of the Blackbird and protecting it. It's so cool.
Xavier's coming in and he's shooting at him. This magnetic protection field comes up, and you see Magneto on the thing, which is cool, protecting his old friend and helping out, which is nice. It's nice to, like I said, I like when the hero and the bad guy have to team up. So
especially those two.
Friends. History, which is interesting because me and my friend used to, Dave actually, who was on the show, used to always joke about how, like, in X-Men The Last Stand is just a terrible movie in a lot of ways.
Oh yes.
But there's a scene where earlier, like, Magneto just stands beside and it's like, "Yes, Jean, yes, kill him, yes," and then lets, like, Xavier get blown to shreds. And then later on, when Pyro makes some snide comment about, Xavier, he's like, "That man has done more for mutants than you will ever know." And it's like,
I know.
You're on this other woman who murdered him. It's so, like, bipolar.
They could have cut the first 10 minutes off of that movie easily.
They could have cut a lot out of that movie.
Yeah.
So they Xavier gets out. Magneto saves him from. I mean, he had the parachute, but guides him back down to Earth. The Blackbird, full of explosives, just plows straight into the Sentinel and blows him. The kingdom come. The Master Mold is gone.
And then Magneto says they're even now.
I don't remember Xavier owing him from before. Oh, I guess from saving him from.
They saved him earlier in the episode.
I suppose so. I guess so. I mean, he might have rallied. He was still alive. He was just lying under some rubble.
Oh yeah, he was going to get out of there, but he is an appreciative guy.
That is true.
He's a sensitive man, then Magneto.
And when you see the explosion, the mountain exploding, and then, like, some people in the nearby village or some people from down below running away, you see Kelly or Bolivar Trask is with them, also running away. I don't know. Like I said, this show just can't.
The
show
cockroach.
It just can't show someone get killed, even though you didn't see him get killed. He's just in the building that exploded. It was still, like, you still had to see him running away, indicating that. And perhaps now he's learned his lesson because, he was ready to blow up the Master Mold. Although, I don't know. He was so shocked about the fact that the Master Mold called mutants and humans. Mutants are humans, that he was like,
"You calling me a mutie?"
Clutching his pearls in frustration. So we see that Trask had survived. Then we cut later to Kelly releasing a statement that he's still running for president, but he's changed his opinion on mutants, that there are bad ones out there, but there are also good ones, and we have to be careful not to overreach and also confuse the two, because there are a lot of people out there that are fighting for humanity. So the X-Men obviously had a influence on him, letting him change his prejudiced ways against mutants of all kinds, instead of just focusing on the bad ones. So, of course, with his newfound revelation, Beast is released from prison, so he doesn't even get his day in court, actually. He just gets let go. So after all that work, 12 episodes of being in prison, 11 episodes of being in prison, he's vindicated and set free. And he's also reading
tomorrow.
And he's also reading Shakespeare again, just to let
the bard knows so much about human oppression.
just to let us know that he's smart. So he's reading Shakespeare. And then we get a nice moment of Scott and Jean having a picnic in some random place. Aren't
they on a boat?
No, they're on a field. There's like flowers and a picnic basket.
I'm thinking of the next episode.
Scott asks Jean to marry him, to which he says yes, and then it shows them sitting on the blanket, having this lovely moment as new fiancés. When we get footage of somebody watching them through a camera, and where that camera is in relation to where they're sitting, the camera has to be literally right in front of them, meaning there's
Must
either
be a drone camera.
but it's straight in front of them. Like it's like from me to the computer camera away. It's like
It must
how
be
would they
very
miss it?
small.
It's attached to a bee that's just hovering nearby.
Exactly.
And then there's a voice.
Sinister knows what your future holds.
So that's not Sinister's voice, right?
I don't think so.
It's Morph's voice because it's Morph's laugh. So, and even the outline of the shadow watching through the screen is Morph's hair. So
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that it's Morph. And I
it's
know that
Morph.
he does come back. So
And he works
he's
for
connected
Sinister.
to Sinister somehow.
Yeah.
So this would be the start of that, I guess, which is interesting. So I forgot to ask the Leewalds when we were talking to them. Yes, and they do have a new book out that just came out in 2020.
I'll get to that later.
Okay, we'll talk about it later. That can be your suggestion for reading, right? Yeah. So so they didn't know there's going to be a second season, but they obviously, I guess, had a hope by leaving this little stinger.
And a little tidbit that they mention in this book, absolutely, is that, I mean, when you take these first 13 episodes, you can see how that is written to be just one final, here's the X-Men, here's our story, just we're good here. Like, humans love mutants, like the way they end it, you know what I mean? Their biggest human enemy is on their side. Jean and Cyclops are getting married. Xavier and Magneto are even. Like, they pretty much settled everything. And that was how the episode ended. And that whole thing where the TV comes in, that was added later. Like, quite a bit later, once they found out that they were getting a second season.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, oh, we can't have it all wrapped up like that. So they go back and they add, and they knew Sinister was going to be the big villain in season 2. So they went and added that.
He's a good choice. He's a great choice.
Oh, yeah.
Thus ends season 1 of X-Men, the animated series. It's been a good ride, man. It's been a good ride.
It's been quite a good ride.
When this random guy that I met once, like 10 years ago, messaged me about doing this podcast with him, I didn't know how well this would go, but I took a decision, and I am happy that I did it because
he's like, "Is this going to be my final decision?"
Yeah, I exactly thought that. Even with calling it dev decision, I don't know how I was so clairvoyant, but somehow I knew.
This show was meant to be.
It's true. It is. It's you got your peanut butter and my chocolate, and here we are. So I don't know.
Thanks for making me the peanut butter. I enjoy peanut butter.
Yeah, me too. I actually like it more than chocolate, but that's why I gave it to you because
me too.
I feel. Yeah.
What a guy! What a guy!
I know.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
You go first. And decide.
9.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was sitting there for a while, but you know what? This one's a 10 for me.
I thought about it.
I really liked this one.
I did too. Yeah.
9's fine. I was sitting there.
I know.
Pretty much all week, and then I thought, I compared it to a couple other 9s I had put out there, and this one's
like 10. There's a certain. I don't even know if I can give you a quantifiable reason as to what makes it a 10, but there's something in your X heart, your heart of heart, your X heart that just says this is a 10. And I really felt it during Days of Future Past. And I feel like, I could for this one, I guess, but I just don't know. I didn't hit me in quite as much. Well, I think it's just knowing how much I enjoyed that particular episode, Days of Future Past. And maybe I shouldn't hold everything up to it, but the elements of that part 1 of that Days of Future Past episodes, it really hit me in like everything I enjoyed, like every single check mark for the show.
Oh yeah, it was great. We made sure to tell the writer all about how much we loved that episode.
This one hit 9 out of 10, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, great episode. Wow. All right. It's uncanny.
It's so loud.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, for me it was. Oh. Holy crap. Oh, all right, you go ahead. You start.
Well, you're welcome. for the ears being blown out.
Oh, that's all right. All good.
All right. Well, my X points. This is like Days of Future Past Part 3. They didn't call it that, but it settles that whole story. Like the future was still messed up because Kelly was missing. This one they save Kelly, and Master Mold is what leads that future to happen, and they deal with that as well. So it really is just Days of Future Past Part 3.
I see. Good point.
That's how I saw it.
I think this episode does a good job of showing the X-Men doing what they do best, and that's protecting everybody, even the people that don't necessarily agree with them, and seeing them go above and beyond to rescue a guy who's done nothing but make their lives worse and create support all these institutions that were out to imprison them or hold them down in some manner or another. The fact they're willing to go to bat and die just to protect Senator Kelly. I mean, obviously they didn't know how deep the conspiracy was going with all the other people in the world that were being brought in. But this is what the X-Men do best, fighting for even those who don't necessarily agree with them, because they fight for all peoples. And it's nice to see that brought home in this episode.
I forgot I did a thing.
A thing?
I sang a thing.
Is it our anniversary?
No, it's not. But I almost it's like there's the quote from Gene and Scott I was gonna have come in after I introduced us, and it was gonna be like, if we had children, they'd be mutants.
Oh yeah, right.
But I didn't do that.
And then Scott has a nice moment, like when they say they're going to get married. What's funny too, because when they say they get married, like Jean Grey, not all married couples have children.
True.
Because Jean Grey's first thing is like, well, if we have kids, they'll be mutants, and Scott's like, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Can you see this?
Oh, you kept a mark. We were pretty divided on number 1. I get not super divided, but 8 and a 10. 8, 8. 6. Oh, we really didn't like Deadly Reunion.
Yeah. Well, look, I'd be 9 and 6 difference on Days of Part 2 there.
That was a big one too, yeah. But we got X's. Yeah.
But we usually get pretty close.
Yeah, I would say.
That's our little chart. That's our little.
I like the
season 1 chart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had 3 10s this season.
Just a 1.
You had 1.
See, I only give my heart out to things that truly deserve it, Devin. I don't just flaunt it around and throw it to the wind. It's your heart,
I wear it on my sleeve.
No, I'm guilty of that too. So. Anywho, yeah, that's my point.
All right. Well, my next one. Oh God, we talked about a lot of these already. Well, George Buza, the voice of Beast, is in the first X-Men movie. I'm not sure if you know that. He's the trucker who drops off Rogue in up north.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, he's
that's George Buza, the voice of Beast.
Wait a minute. How do you spell the last name?
Yes, sir. Buza. That's right. We're Canadians. We say Z.
He's a deeply Canadian character. I didn't realize he was Beast. That's lovely.
Yeah, man. He's a Shakespearean actor. He's been around.
He's in a lot of movies, a lot of Canadian movies, a lot of straight to DVD movies, but a lot of movies. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he's in a bunch of stuff. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm tickled pink that it was him.
There you go.
Yeah, he did the voice of Chief Chirpa in the Ewoks cartoon as well.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Wow.
So number 2, or for me, the design of was that your point? Just like Beast?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's
we've destroyed a few of my points here already. So,
no, you don't destroy. Oh, what we've talked about them already? You mean?
Yeah.
Well, I did touch on it. But I want to say it again. Gambit's Dark Past and the little nod to Ghost Rider is a really cool little moment, and I was super happy to see that because I'm sure it was one of your points, and I wanted to destroy it as well. So
this is why I brought more than 5 because I knew it would be one of yours.
The Danny Ketch Ghost Rider was a big part of my I reread the first 6 issues of that run not too long ago, and it's not great.
Really?
I mean,
the Spirit of Vengeance.
Like, the comic wasn't fantastic. I mean, it's all right. But I have a lot of love for a lot of those incidental 90s characters, new versions of old characters or new characters created in the 90s. Very few of which went on to huge success.
Well, the Midnight Suns was cool, and he was in that. It
Yeah,
was
but all
a bit
those guys,
better than his solo run.
all those guys existed before, like Morbius, Blade Runner, Hannibal King, and Frank Drake, and all those characters. But the I mean, like a lot of characters that were created in the 90s, I have a lot of love for them, even though they never really had great success, like Slapstick. Darkhawk is one I absolutely love and adore, but gets very little love anytime he appears. The Phil Urich Green Goblin I liked, although they turned him into a villain later.
I like Phil as well.
Yeah, so like all that stuff was fun. Sleepwalker, I know he was an older character, but he kind of got a relaunch in the 90s. Yeah, Moon Knight got a relaunch in the 90s too. There was a bunch of those fun characters that were kind of getting their own series, with like Blade got his own cool series. And,
whoever guested on Spider-Man the month before was about to get their own series.
Yeah, well, it's funny because Darkhawk, every issue was basically a guest star. Like Punisher, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, Venom. Just like every other issue was a new guest star to get people interested in reading this comic that they're trying to get.
And they remember Nomad comics.
Yeah,
there was a lot of those in the 90s.
Yeah, he was the relief cat when Captain America gave up being Captain America. He was the relief Captain America. They rolled that part into John Walker
and had that little baby that he carried around called Bucky. Yeah,
he was killed very unceremoniously in Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America, I believe, by the Winter Soldier.
The baby?
No, the Nomad.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes, they killed the baby. It was amazing.
You worried me there for a second.
Spread of the baby exploded.
Spread of it. Oh my god! I couldn't
believe Marvel would do that, but they did. Did I say Ghost Rider?
Did
I don't know if I did or not.
Yeah, you were talking about Ghost Rider and stuff.
Oh yes, that's right. That's my point. Ghost Rider.
All right, my next one's a question, Andre, for you. Who is scarier, Master Mold or Skynet?
Well, I mean, based solely on results, I think Skynet would win because it did actually succeed in taking over the planet and making
similar though. It's a similar conclusion Skynet and Master Mold came to.
Actually, Master Mold wanted to protect.
Wasn't that what Skynet came on when Skynet came online? It realized that all the problems on Earth were created by humans.
Yeah, but Master Mold seemed more peaceful in his purpose. He wanted to take over the
because he doesn't fear.
He didn't say that. You're projecting that onto him.
No, he said the fear part. He didn't say the hope part.
Oh, it was the hope, right?
He says he doesn't need to kill because he doesn't fear.
Yeah, which is kind of sad that he actually is somewhat like, I don't need to kill, like, and then they just drive a plane full of explosives. Like he actually has a moment of, like, as a robot, he has a moment of, like, mercy, and he gets none from the humans. That's for sure.
It's true. He's just like, I just want to bring you peace and order, and they're like, fly the explosives into him.
Yeah, in the end, he's much like the Iron Giant. He was undone by the folly of man.
Yeah,
but probably will return, also like the Iron Giant. But so yeah, no, I thought, I think Skynet's scarier that way, just because the Terminators are terrifying. But as a character, I mean, Master Mold's kind of goofy looking too. But I liked him. I think he's cool. I'd like to see more of this character and some connection with Nimrod and all that down the line. It'd be fun. Okay, back to me, eh? Well, I think the art direction on this episode was very good. Especially the scene where the Master Mold busts through the top of the mountain. It was very there's the shadowed silhouette behind the moon. And it's very cool art design. And one thing I did
that scene too, because that's the same scene where Magneto comes down and they fly. It's just a cool scene.
It was super cool, and just like that like the kaiju era kind of like busting out of the mountain and ready for battle.
Yeah,
it was super cool. So I think that the art direction on the show is something we don't talk about a lot as far as design goes. We do, but I didn't bring it up when we spoke to the Lee Waltz. But because you have the book there, their new book, and David mentioned it too when he showed it on the show when he was on. And I guess the art design stuff that's in that is just gorgeous. You see some of all the backgrounds and all the character designs and stuff.
Everyone should buy this book, but I mean, it's just so good. All the art.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Like, mine is yet to arrive, but when I get it, I will be poring over it very much so. But yes, the art design is beautiful in this episode, especially the
what's going on with Xavier?
He's got into some weird tentacle hentai going on there.
All right. Well, I guess that's to me, is it?
Sure.
Well, I think we've talked about this before, but it was no. You know what? I'll skip that one. You know, this episode shows Cyclops' leadership in that scene we had the clip of earlier, but it also shows his place in the X-Men because you know the leadership role fluctuates and stuff, but they do have different roles, and like Storm's kind of like the almost the moral conscience of the X-Men in a way, and like, you know, Nightcrawler's its heart, or you could kind of switch those two roles back and forth between those two a bit, but Cyclops is its steadfastness. You know, there's no Cyclops was right, and you know that's what I like about the. I know you're not a big fan of how they make Cyclops a bit more of a rebel, and not so much the Boy Scout. In
they make it more Magneto-ish.
Yeah, I like that actually, and radical. I think that follows his character because he doesn't waver. And at the time when Xavier and some others did, he did not. So he seemed like the radical. He's just like, no, we're continuing with the mission. They're like, well, no, look, we got to do this because this happened, and then you know all the mutants are dead because of this, and just like we need to take a back seat. It's like I was just like, no, we push forward. You know, that's his place in the X-Men. And I thought they really captured that well here.
I just feel like they go too far with it. Like when the Phoenix thing happened, when they had the AVX thing, and he killed Xavier. Like I don't know.
Oh, that AVX really wasn't good. That's really not in the head canon. That got excluded from the head canon.
Well, unfortunately, outside of your head canon, the rest of us live in the real world, Evan, and we have to deal with these sort of things that come up, and it sucks when they do because it feels like it's you know, I've always been someone that's pretty forgiving of major swings when it comes to like changes for, like, you know, they change stuff for the movies based on the original source comics. Like I get you have to appeal to a wider audience than just me and Davin, but sometimes when it's within the world itself, when it's like you're still within the comic world, you haven't gone somewhere else, and you've made you know, what I think to be a really poor shift in a character that already, you know, it's like it's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing. And I really felt with Cyclops in that particular instance, they really dropped it. And I guess that's the one example I can think of that really, I feel like they failed him.
Yeah, that's the one overstep they made for sure. So it's back to you. Are you on 4 or 5? So did I go first or did you go first?
Did I go first or did you go first? No, you went first.
Okay. Number 4 for you.
Belladonna makes a brief appearance along with Ghost Rider in the flashbacks of Gambit's thinking. And when I first saw the little flashback of Gambit's memory, I thought it was one of the mutants from the future. She kind of looks like one of the mutants that Wolverine's hanging out with in the Days of Future Past Part 1. But then I realized
Flock of Seagulls guy?
Yes, but not the girl, not the Flock of Seagulls guy.
Oh, yeah.
But he ran so far away. Couldn't get away. So yeah, Belladonna in the comics was a former love interest of Gambit's and the head of the Assassins Guild. Is that right?
Yeah, she is.
So I believe more will be known about.
Or set to inherit it. Like the two of them are supposed to be elevated by getting married. I believe,
based on the thing I'm looking at, that she will be back later. We'll know more about that story, but this is
she certainly will.
We have of her, which is cool. And if you know your X-Men history, she has a prominent role in Gambit's sort of journey. And this is a nice little nod to what's to come. They do a lot. They drop a lot of breadcrumbs in the show, and every one of them's appreciated by me, I must say.
Well, my final point has to do with this. And it made me realize that I have not even seen this whole series, and I thought for sure that I had. There are episodes I have not seen, mostly in the last season. But also, I remembered a few things wrong as well, so I just need to apologize to our listeners. A couple of assumptions or assertions I made in some of our earlier episodes are very wrong and will be corrected from here on out. And this book has made me a better host for all you people. So good times ahead. But now I'm way more informed on the show. This is going to be good. Yeah.
Well, there's one thing I can't help but continue to think about, and this is my last point, I guess, but it kind of connects into what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Is the interview we had the Leewalds. That
That was fun.
It was super fun, man, and they were very generous with their time. And
thank you, Eric and Julia.
Yeah, amazing. Eric talked at length about his love of film and his love of Sam Peckinpah, who I'm also a big fan of. And Davin asked him a question about an episode that never aired called
The Wild Man of Borneo. No, the episode that didn't air was called Bring Me Charles Xavier.
Which was taken directly from the title Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, which if you haven't seen it and if you like 70s movies, go watch it. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. If you know anything about Peckinpah, Straw Dogs, The Wild Bunch, any of those movies, they're dripping with manly men, but also you see that that's not it's early. It's like a guy it's hard to describe. So Peckinpah was almost like Ernest Borden. Jesus Christ!
Oh, geez, we're going off the rails here.
No, we're not. We're coming back.
He's bringing it back.
Peckinpah was a lot like Ernest Hemingway in that he was this sort of guy making this creative stuff. I mean, Hemingway's a writer, but Peckinpah was a filmmaker. Where you have these strong male characters that are all dripping with machismo and macho-ness. But as you go along the story, you realize that they're broken inside and that there's a cost to this sort of this masculinity. And it's like toxic masculinity before that word was even part of, the common vernacular. And so his stuff is just so dripping with the fact that we're just animals and we try to keep it together as a society or as a person, but at our core we're still kind of animalistic, and a lot of those base desires and needs that we go for that often to our detriment. So the fact that Eric was such a big fan of that, and let it filter into some of his writing, just with some of the
Wolverine especially, he said,
and Wolverine's character, and what he says, and the fact that he even named an episode that unfortunately didn't get made, but after that movie particularly, which is a gonzo movie, but fantastic, violent as hell, but awesome.
70s movies were heavy.
They're the I don't want to get into.
They're the best movies in cinema,
a way, but they're really, really good. A lot of my favorite movies are from the 70s. I have to,
but everything just felt so real and gritty. And
that was because you had movies made by Peckinpah, you had movies made by Scorsese, movies made by Paul Schrader, who wrote a lot of those movies by Scorsese. So you had a lot of guys out there that were kind of bringing this narrative around.
Did you ever see On the Waterfront?
I have it. I have the Criterion Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Yeah, Brando, man, come on.
Yeah,
come on, Brando. And, Brando's never been anything bad except The Island of Dr. Moreau, and made some other stuff too. But that one was really bad.
Yeah. There's a good story behind that movie.
From garbage comes flowers, because Richard. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. Richard Stanley. Just basically made a career resurgence because he retired after that movie, because he got fired from it because Brando didn't like him. And there's a documentary called Lost Soul, which I suggest you watch, in which it's about what happened to him on that film set. Because basically Brando kicked him off the set. He wasn't in his own movie. He got a part as an extra in disguise and got back on the movie as an extra to see what they're doing to his movie.
Well, Brando showed up all out of shape for that. They didn't expect that. He was supposed to be this guy who was all thin from being in the jungle and not eating, and he just shows up. You're
thinking of Apocalypse Now. That's what they did for that.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I am. Yes,
he was way out of. Everyone knew what he was like by the time he did this movie.
Oh yeah, Island Dr. Moreau. I'm thinking Sunscreen Brando.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I guess when they filmed Apocalypse Now, he just showed up.
Yeah.
They expected him to be all jacked and stuff, and they had this whole plan to have a helicopter fight. It was a big action sequence, and Brando showed up looking,
canceled everything.
Basically, it made it this really quiet sort of thing, which kind of works for the movie, I guess. But
yeah.
Anyway, I just want to say that they don't shy away from going to some. I know it's a cartoon predominantly for children, but they don't shy away for some strong subjects here, and bringing the whole narrative of the season home with this idea that humans and mutants aren't that far apart, and that trying to divide us is not the way to go. Narratively, it's a very nice bit of closure. I feel like it bookends the season very, very well. And if you just took this season by itself and we didn't have any more and gave it to someone, I think it'd be a more than worthy experience. But thankfully, we get more seasons to learn more and more about these characters and their journeys.
This series technically ends 3 times. It ended in this season because they didn't know they were getting a second season. It ends after season 4. They write their big 3 or 4 part ender for season 4 because they didn't know they were getting a season 5. So they ended the series again. And then they had to do season 5. So they had to.
Doesn't season 5 end on a cliffhanger, though? Like a pretty
no, not. I wouldn't call that a cliffhanger.
Okay.
Something happens, definitely, but like...
Okay, well, we'll get there. It's a journey.
Yeah. We'll get there.
It's only, 50 episodes away from now?
To the journey.
Oh, more
something, no, more than that. It's like 60 episodes
right? So, we already got 13. And is there 13 each season?
No, it's all over the place.
Oh, so we get way more.
One of the middle seasons is like 26 episodes or something.
Yeah, that sounds right. I always thought it was weird that this first season was only 13 episodes because back in the day, some cartoons were like 30, 40, 50 episodes a season. Like there's a lot of stuff. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like it's in the book here, they say how it took off. It's such a hit. They got like 65 episodes ordered and there were no breaks between seasons and all this kind of stuff.
Well, so hopefully they had fun with all the raking in all that dough, that sweet 90s dough.
Oh yeah, sweet 90s cash when it was still paper.
Everybody's driving Lambos.
Hey, check this out.
I guess I can go first.
Sure.
This is our comic reminiscences and recommendations. Oops, wrong one. All right. So I have 2. Start with this one for you, Andre.
My
Morrison,
baby, my favorite X-Men storyline of all time.
The first one, the opening story, the first 3 issues of his run is about Master Mold, very much, and the Wild Sentinels. He's for Extinction. It's one of my favorite Grant Morrison mini stories in his run. Everyone should check that out.
I feel like,
but also,
go ahead.
What? No, you go ahead.
I feel like you would have some umbrage to take with the fact that Morrison was sort of responsible for breaking up Jean and Scott.
No, I like Scott and Emma's relationship quite a bit.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
I do too, but I do kind of miss.
They make more sense.
Yeah, I guess. But we still never get to see Jean just with being with Cyclops or being with Wolverine. At least you think that would be the natural way that would go.
I don't like that either.
No.
Wolverine needs like some 80-year-old or something.
It's like
I don't like him chasing around young girls.
It's like when they finally did Wolverine Origins and like they, tied to his origin stories another girl with red hair that resembles Jean Grey,
You know what? That saved that for me, actually. I was actually going to mention that because I didn't really like his obsession with Jean in the comics or the show. I just, she wasn't interesting enough for someone who's known that many people and been around that long because she was too young. She didn't have the life experience that someone like Wolverine should be attracted to. But then it made sense because he just has this like deep-seated thing for redheads.
You know what? I was going to make that joke because if you asked me who my favorite cartoon character is, I'd probably say Jessica Rabbit. And if anyone who knows me or seen a picture of my wife, she's a redhead. And I think my previous girlfriend was a redhead. And just like somebody mentioned to me, like, you seem to have a type with redheads. And I was like, I never thought about it before. It's not a conscious decision. It just seemed to work out that way. So I can understand Wolverine's fascination, I'll say.
And my other one is, of course, X-Men, the art and making of the animated series. I'm telling you, this was an incredibly enjoyable read. I didn't spoil it. I mentioned a few things from it, but there's just so much in here, and
I'm very excited to read it. But also, Eric wrote a previous book to that, which came out in 2017, called "Previously on X-Men: The Making of an Animated Series," and it's an oral history of the making of the series. So that is also available out in bookstores and on Amazon, all the usual places. So check that out as well. It's a super cool looking book.
Oh, look at the art. Look at the back of this. There's the back of the book.
I know. I was looking at that. I want a poster that, you know what? I think if I get that book, Well, no, when I get that book, I might scan that and
when you
make
get that
the
book.
poster of it. I work at a print shop, so I can get away with that.
Oh, excellent.
Beautiful.
That's handy, isn't it?
It is handy for stuff.
Oh, there's just so many good images in here.
I hope
We got
Disney's not listening and
Sinister
assuming for recreating one of their images, but it's just going to hang in my house. I'm not going to sell it. I swear it is.
they can add it to the lawsuit for all the clips I'm using from every episode.
No, you're allowed. That's fair game if it's for review.
Okay, is that so?
Totally, yeah, it's totally fair game if it's for review or parody. So
okay,
since it's review, it's fair game. I mean, we can't show the
whole.
whole
them all to 8 seconds because my musical training tells me I can get away with 8 seconds. So
that's smart. I didn't realize you did that. That's very clever.
Yeah.
Oh, my depiction. Well, which just came out this week or a couple weeks ago, is this the new series from Mike Allred and
oh crap! I didn't know that was out.
And Peter
Did
Milligan.
you read it?
No, I have not yet to read it because
but you haven't read the Ecstatics, yeah.
Which is my other recommendation, the omnibus of the Ecstatics, which I've just started.
Read the Ecstatics.
Well, I'm going to read that and then get into this. So the new series picks up where this one ends, which is many, many years later. Talking about things that. Oh well, I'll wait until we get to the next section because I was going to mention something here about the show, but I have a feeling that it might come up in a second. So yeah, fantastic series. I love Mike Allred's art so much, and Peter Milligan is an amazing writer as well. English writer. He came from the same school as Alan Moore and Grant Morrison and those guys. Fantastic.
Has a little trouble differentiating faces, I find, but I overall love his art. It's so energetic and colorful. Yeah.
And also Darwin Cook, who was I want to say a friend because that's not fair, but associate of mine.
Come on now, a guy like you.
He was a lovely man. I can't say enough.
I'm sure he'd admit to it.
But he, we hung out a few times and at events, usually through Strange Adventures or other comic things. And he was always an amazing guy, super great with his time, very kind to me, who had just an indie comic out that he gave me a lot of good feedback on. And he's deeply missed because he was a fantastic creator and did a lot of cool work. So there's some more of his amazing artwork in here. But yeah, the series continues with this new excellent comic which just came out, picking up where Ecstatics ends from many, many moons ago. And Ecstatics was like the fun, cool, different take on the X-Men that we got in the I want to say early 2000s. That's when it came out, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It was called X-Force first. It was like X-Force.
It was for a little bit, then they changed it to Ecstatics.
It's funny, X-Force on the comic and tries to fight them for their name.
Funny. That's right. They do, which is funny. But I'm curious to read the new issue to see, because I believe the series ended with them all dying, didn't it? So how they all come back to life.
No, not all of them. Just a lot of them.
Okay.
Was it all of them?
Oh yeah, I guess the X-Men have that whole thing now where nobody can die, right? They just keep coming back to life if they die. Yeah. So maybe it connects.
Krakoan revival.
We will find out. But anyway, check those out. Really fun stuff from the issues I read way back in the day. That I really enjoyed it, and I would like to see more of it. So I'm glad it's back.
Excellent. Well, I think we're kind of rushing along here with the late start, so I don't know that we'll play this game. I made this up so I would show the audience what we've done so far. We're casting X-Men 97 ourselves with cartoon characters and actors, actresses.
We can do this.
Well, again, if you like. Now we have Christopher Walken as Bastion and Ned Flanders as William Stryker.
Mm-hmm. You better start because I think it works out better this way.
Oh, geez.
Who do I got?
You get. Let's get a. I'm gonna say. Oh, that's too much of a Nova Scotian. Let's not go with that. Here's one for you. Jim Carrey.
What? Jim Carrey?
Yeah. Jim Carrey.
To do a voice on the cartoon?
Yep.
Fine. If Ryan Reynolds can't do it, Deadpool. I think he'd be a fun Deadpool.
Okay.
As a voice actor,
we can assume Ryan Reynolds would do But
Well,
yeah,
I
he would
mean,
be a
you know,
hilarious
there's-
Deadpool, though. It's pretty funny.
He would be a very good Deadpool. Or if okay. Oh, even better. Skip that. So
Okay.
Deadpool has
Yep.
so Deadpool Ryan Reynolds, that's fine. Deadpool's enemy, Madcap. That's who I'd make Jim Carrey.
Oh, Madcap's awesome. Jim
Madcap
Carrey
is
would be a
a
crazy
fantastic
good
character, I
Madcap.
believe, created by John Byrne in his run on She-Hulk. I'm pretty sure. But he's like a zany, almost evil version of Deadpool that sort of breaks the fourth wall and sees things beyond reality. So that is who I would pick, Madcap, to go against
Madcap.
Deadpool. That's a much better choice.
Wow. Ryan Reynolds versus Jim Carrey. I like it.
I think I've been knocking these out of the park, by the way.
Yeah, you have been. Actually, I have
think
to
it's
show
good
up
with this
here
one.
because my first one I stuttered over. All right.
No, you did fine.
Bring it
You're
on.
Fine. You're fine. Who am I? Okay, Paul Giamatti.
Feed me. Paul Giamatti.
Oh, I know who I would pick for him. I just thought
He's
of
not-
it, but let's see what you say.
So he's already cast, I guess. But no. So can we use characters that have been cast in '92?
Oh, yeah.
No, probably not.
Sure.
We shouldn't do that.
No, I think so.
Yeah, I can be more
I think we
creative.
can, we
than
can.
that. Paul Giamatti. Yeah, I was gonna say Juggernaut, but
Really?
I don't
You pick him
I
for
don't want
Juggernaut?
to. I don't. Well, I'm not a huge Paul Giamatti fan. I'm having trouble with
Well,
this
I'm a
one.
massive Paul Giamatti fan. He's great.
Paul Giamatti. Okay, here's one. Mojo.
You know what? That's what I was going to say. But isn't he on the series?
Yeah, we'd have to recast him. The other one's really good already. See,
It's funny. No, it's funny
but
because
so many are already on the series.
that is what I was thinking of when I said his name and I said, "Oh, I got one." That's who immediately popped in my head was Mojo.
Yeah, he would
if
play a good Mojo.
Well, he would be a fantastic Mojo. Actually,
If not Mojo, then I would make him Major Domo, Mojo's buddy. No, see, he's already cast too.
What was Arcade ever on the show?
No.
I would make him Arcade. He'd be very good.
Let's go with that. Let's go with Arcade. I don't want to recast Mojo. He plays a
No,
really
I
good
agree. I
Mojo.
think that's a good choice. He'd be a really good Arcade as well.
I mean, you made
if
my
you-
choice for me, but I take it. I
I'm
accept
sorry.
it. No, I said Arcade
Um,
last week anyway, so now I can actually pick Arcade.
So long story, but when all the video stores were closing, I managed to grab a DVD of a pilot for a cartoon series based on a Mike Mignola property called The Amazing Screw-On Head. They only made one episode. It was like Mike Mignola only made the one comic about the character, but they took that comic and made it into a pilot for a cartoon they're hoping to get off the ground. It was drawn entirely Mike Mignola's style. So it was like a living Hellboy comic to watch, which is beautiful. The voice so it takes place in the colonial era. Lincoln has a secret man that deals with all the supernatural stuff named Screw-On Head, who basically is just a head with a screw in the bottom, and his head screws onto different bodies in different situations when he needs to fight people. He's voiced by Paul Giamatti, and it is fantastic. The voice work in it is beautiful. David Hyde Pierce plays the villain Emperor Zombie. Patton Oswalt plays the manservant of Screw-On Head. Molly Shannon is his former girlfriend turned evil vampire. There's so many good voices in it. I think Lincoln was someone pretty big too, but it's a fantastic. If you can, I'm sure the trailer's online, but track it down and watch it. It's a ton of fun, and it gives a real good insight to some. Well, and Giamatti did a voice on Rick and Morty not too long ago too, so it gives some it's a little bit of insight into his voice work. But anyway,
I like this game. I think
do
you're definitely killing it a little better than me so far. But
we're
a big
partners,
movie
man.
guy.
We're a team, goddammit.
That's fair.
You are the living embodiment of all that is evil and unjust in humankind.
Is that me?
What's wrong with Andre?
Oh, actually, how real are we going to get here, Devin?
We can get real. We've been we're 13 episodes in now. We can be real with our audience.
I just had a long
They
day.
trust
It was
us.
a
They
long
like
weekend.
us. Right?
That's true. It was just a long day. It was my first day back after a long weekend, and it just felt like everything hit me at once today, and I just really got frustrated with life. I'm fine. It's just one of those.
And then I
days
said,
where,
"Let's podcast for 3.5 hours."
I was like, you can tell Davin doesn't have like a normal day job because he's like, let's do this interview for 2 hours and then do our show for 2 hours. I'm like, I just want to play a video game with my friend. But it's been a fun experience. And
I'm gonna be up at 5 a.m. if it makes you feel any better.
It doesn't, because I'll be up at
5 or 6
6:45 and I don't even have a baby or anything. No, man, it's good. Life's good. I can't complain too much. I got a part in a little film that's filming this weekend.
Fun.
In Halifax for a couple of days. So actually it's a pilot for a show, and I play an Irish
Halifax.
person.
You stopping by to play X-Men on Sega? Jeez.
Well, I don't know
Eastern
about
Passage
time.
isn't that far.
I don't know about time. I have to work on. I'm playing an Irish character, so I have to do an Irish accent. So it's not too bad. I mainly just channel Liam Neeson.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But I think it's good. We haven't got a Banshee episode really yet on the show, so I can't do Banshee. That's for sure.
Oh, Black Tom Cassidy.
Yes. Well, you didn't get him yet either.
That's true. Just his buddy.
There's some fun Irish characters out there. So yeah, no, life's good, man. I can't complain. I'm gonna have a weekend in the city, so it'll be good. If you want to come meet me in the Halifax, maybe I can have dinner or something. I don't know what my timeline's gonna be like, but I can let you know if you're free. Bring the kid.
Maybe we'll hook up a beer or something.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How about you?
There's nothing more beautiful than the beginning of a new day.
That's true.
I like how she says that while she's being watched through this weird computer.
I know. Nothing more beautiful than being spied on by Weirdo Morph and Mr. Sinister.
Yes. I wonder how deep that camera goes and they follow them home to celebrate their engagement. Or Mr. Sinister's just watching them do it. He's like, yeah, you have no.
It's like, what a way to ruin a tender moment, too. Like their big engagement moment and everything.
I know.
It's like,
Sinister's like, yes, slower. Yes, you've no idea what's to come.
What's working with me? Almost completely moved in. Yeah. We're still did the big clean over at the old place. A few more things to bring over, and then once the ground thaws, I can start removing my gardens, which I'm looking forward to. But it's nice. The baby likes this place better, I think. We're just a little couple-minute walk from the beach and the boardwalk and everything. So,
like a swimmable
nice.
Beach when you go swimming at?
Yeah, people. There were 2 people swimming down there yesterday.
Jesus Christ!
I know.
I love the beach, and I wish it's about a 40 minute drive to get there from my house. And the one thing I wish I could change is I was closer to a beach. So
well, this is just McCormick's Beach. I don't know that I'd swim there so much, but Rainbow Haven's just like a 5-minute drive away from here as well.
No, even that's better. I mean, anything water wise, anything that's close will be great.
Yeah, Rainbow Haven's nice.
Am I wrong? And did we talk about it during this podcast? But today I was going to bring up Namor. They have an episode that talks about Wolverine teaming up with Captain America, don't they? Somewhere.
Yes.
And is
Len Wein writes it.
Is that the one, or am I getting confused with Spider-Man? Maybe it's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man because there's a story later where it's the Invaders are in it. I think.
Oh, really? The Invaders?
Yeah, I think. You see Captain America and you see Captain Union Jack and. I think Red Skull, because Electro is in it, but he's like the son of Red Skull or something. They really change his origin. It's weird.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, it's really weird. Electro is never really in the series except in this flashback.
It's called Old Soldiers.
That's right.
Season 5, so you can see the more basic animation there. But yeah, Len Wein wrote it, and there's an anecdote about that in this book. They asked him if he'd come back and write another episode. He said only if he can do a World War II story with Cap and Wolverine. And they had to get all this special permission from Marvel to be able to use Captain America. So.
Oh man, well, I'm excited to see that episode in 4 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's what's working with me. Less stressed. I was stressed out for a couple of weeks there, and now I can relax a little and just wait for spring.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to hear it. I'm happy you're in a new spot and you're doing well. I got that book for you. Don't let me forget when I see you.
Oh yes, I look forward to that. I love my Star Trek X-Men crossovers.
Yes,
where my podcasts meet.
There's a few other. So it's a pawn shop locally here that had this Star Trek Next Generation X-Men crossover book. Is it Planet X the one I got for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have other X-Men books there. If you need any, let me know because they might have ones you need.
I believe I might do that.
No, look how excited he is. I love that image. He's just so preposterous. He's like laying in his full costume.
Glad you decided to join.
All right, let's party like it's 97. And so there's something we forgot that we could have mentioned last week and we didn't, which was a spoiler from the Lee Walds, actually, a couple of weeks ago, which is that there's 10 episodes to the season, the first season of 97, which I don't believe we've mentioned yet on this show.
No, which is cool. I mean, that seems to be Disney's go-to.
Bit short. I was hoping it'd be more like 50. But it's okay. 10 quality episodes to get everybody enticed for more. Then we get X-Men 98, 99, maybe 2000. I don't know. When did X-Men kind of tapered off there a little bit in the early 2000s? But
I'm interested by the fact that like they're keeping in the continuity and the timeline of the show. Like
yeah.
I guess the show never really went into any specific. I guess this way they don't have to do a lot of cell phone or internet stuff, but it's just interesting that they would choose to stick to that timeline.
It should be a nice little nostalgic dive, though.
Well, they could have picked it up now and made it contemporary and just not acknowledged really that it's there's a big time jump. But I just find it interesting that they bothered to keep it. I guess they're really.
I'm glad they didn't do that.
No, I'm okay with it as it is.
Like if you're gonna keep all those old stories clearly in the 90s, like we were mentioning earlier, how many episodes would be solved just by cell phones?
That is true. But are we going to talk about what we want to see show up in that? Is that what we're doing this time? Because if we are,
go for it. I had an actual thing to say, which was the 10 episode thing. So you go right ahead.
Well, what I was going to say was if I want to see anybody come into the new X-Men series, it would be the Ecstatics.
They're perfect for cartoons too.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And I would very much like to see, if you think of one character that I'd like to see in the new show, it'd be Dupe. Dupe would be a lovely.
Is an amazing character.
So that is.
And him and Wolverine go way back.
They sure do. Him and everybody go way back. He's such a weird character.
It's true. Dupe's this weird character. Dupe is pretty funny.
I don't want to give away all.
But creepy too. There's some crazy stuff that happens in Ecstatics with Dupe.
There's so many characters from comics that they haven't done on the show yet that I'd like to see. So I'm going to try to not just let them all off. I'll have to try to put them in my brain pan and remember them for next time.
I want to see Excalibur, the team. Like a team of Excalibur.
Captain Britain would be cool.
Captain Britain, Megan.
Yeah, what
you get Nightcrawler hanging out with them, Kitty. Because Kitty needs to be on this show. Look, we were talking to the Lee Walds, and there was very, very concrete reasons on why they didn't use Kitty. And I think she does show up in a late episode when they go back to Bishop's future timeline. I believe she may be there in an episode. But I want to see Kitty, and I want to see modern Kitty. I want to see Pirate Kitty, the leader of the Marauders. I love what they're doing with Kitty Pryde right now. I want to see her knuckle tattoos that say Kill Shaw. I want to see all that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I want to see Glob Herman from
Glob Herman.
He would be. I want to see him in a cartoon. He'd be awesome.
Well, if you're gonna pick a younger character, I'd like to see Armor. She's a cool character.
Oh yeah, that's a cool cover. A nice addition to the show as well.
I also like the time traveling character Ava Bell. She's quite cool as well.
Abigail Brand.
Oh, I bet you we'll see Brand. I think we'll see Brand. Yeah.
Well, I think they got to give Beast a girlfriend that lives in space and protects the Earth from villains.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to see.
That'd be a nice little romance. The Beast Brand. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's time for us to plug things.
Oh, right. Like in a socket? I don't know if I have anything nearby. Oh, wait.
Or your show.
Yes. The Graphic Histories Podcast, which is my podcast. Just mine and mine alone. None of this Davin bullshit. Just me.
No. Except for one episode.
It wasn't one episode in which I interview people related to sci-fi, comics, and nerddom in general. I had a great conversation this past week with Ukla the Mock, Rand Belavia, and Adam English of the band. Are you familiar with the band, Davin?
No, and I'm glad you actually started posting things about them on your Facebook so I could actually read what they're called, because you've been saying Ukla the Mock for like the last few weeks or whatever, and I don't know. I didn't know what you were saying. You're like, oh yeah, the Ukla the Mock. I'm like, what? Slow that down. What does he say? But so
It's Ukla the Mock.
now I know what they're called. Yeah,
they're a
the
band
Mock.
that fall into the filk genre of music, which is music that's based around.
Never heard of it.
Filk, yeah, it's like it's a kind of an esoteric word, but it's generally bands that sing about cartoons or sci-fi or comics or sort of nerdy things. And they were one of the first, if not the first. They're definitely up there. But we had a great conversation. I had amazing, like, I'm a huge fan of them. They've done the theme song to my show for a long, long time. David Cutler, who's on this show, artist from Marvel, introduced me to them back when I was in high school. They had a song called Arthur Curry about Aquaman. And they're great. All their music is on the usual platforms. Check them out, man. I think it's not just like parody music. It's not like Weird Al or something, and I love Weird Al, but it's real good music about topics that, as a nerd, you care about. And as I mentioned a lot in my interview with them, as a kid growing up in an area where there wasn't a ton of nerd community, it was nice listening to music to someone that that was speaking to me specifically in a style of music like folk rock or rock that I liked. So they're an amazing band. I highly suggest the new album. They have a live album that just came out, but the previous album was Ukla the Mock vs. Evil, which they just did a Kickstarter to get on vinyl. It's really, really good, and it's a really, really cool conversation. So definitely check it out. It's graphichistories.com. It's also on Amazon, Spotify, Castbox, and Stitcher. So I assume one of you has one of those because they're all the big ones. So get out there, listen to the podcast, check it out on the show, and let me know what you think, man. I'm always looking for some. And I mean, people really just got a bonus episode of my show by listening to our interview with the DeWalt's. It's very similar.
It's true. I try to borrow as many podcasts as I can. This show is basically my cousins, who you can see over at Live Long and Podcast and Super Mater Brothers, but this is kind of their stuff thing, the review show. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do that. Andre interviews people. I'm just going to do that too. So, nothing's original.
Right. Nope. Let's get the best of all worlds.
Yep. But, who else plays nerdy songs? The Look Tours of Trek. It started off the band, me and Dave playing Simple Tailors, and we've turned a bunch of our songs into Star Trek songs, and we play them on there sometimes. So we do similar things. Just that probably.
Yeah, check them out. They're fantastic. I can't stress enough how good their music is. So definitely check them out.
Oh no, I'm getting voice cracky here, am I? Oh no.
All right, no worries. We're wrapping it up. So.
All right, well, let's wrap it up since my mic is failing here. Unless you just mean I sound a little hoarse of throat.
No, your mic's cracking up.
Yeah, I thought that might be what you were talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all we have to say for today. Oh, well, you know what? If you want to start your own podcast, do it with Buzzsprout. They work for me. I highly recommend them. If you're going to do an audio podcast, fire it on there. And there'll be a link in the description. So you can let them know we sent you by following that link, and they'll actually give you a $20 Amazon gift card. And they'll give something to us as well. So we all benefit. You get an Amazon card, money.
Yeah, and we we get to claw our way up towards that sweet MeUndies castor mattress.
We keep getting free plugs.
That's right. We need to get to this money so Davin and I can just make this podcast exclusively for us for our lives.
We're just gonna send them a sizzle reel of us just plugging them for free, and go be like, at the end of it.
Incidentally, too, because it's like every episode we bring it up as a joke, but we still are plugging them, which is funny.
We still are, yeah. We're still creating awareness for their brand
for free. Yeah, hopefully,
you can contact us.
Yeah, please do.
X-Men Review Show gmail.com. Yeah, we've been having some contact with some listeners on Facebook, and that's been fun.
Yeah, a lot of good.
I asked your question. There. Can't remember your name, listener, but I asked your question.
Yes, Davin did ask your question.
To the Lee Walds. I'm not sure you're gonna like their answer, but I asked.
Well, they're pretty shackled by not being able to talk about the new show because gag
Yeah,
words
it's
in Disney are pretty strong.
It's true. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Talk to us. We want to hear what you like about the show, what you like about the X-Men, what you're excited about for '97,
and just what you like about me specifically. Just
specifically about Andre. Who has the best beard, Andre or me? Like the important questions.
How handsome I am, how I want to read your fan fiction where you shipped Avon and I together. I want to read all of it. Just send it in. So let's see.
Okay, but you're reading that first.
Oh yes, I'll read it live on the air.
Okay, well that could be a fun segment. We'll do ASMR where it's like our romantic novels,
and then
starring us and Fabio,
where people just ship us together.
No, Fabio models as us on the cover.
I like it,
as he used to do.
But
he plays both of us. So like I'm Fabio.
Oh,
but you're also Fabio.
I'd like a bald bearded Fabio that's like playing me. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, he does the modeling for me, and then they shave him, and then he does you.
Like a bear. Then they shave him and just pop him out there.
Oh my.
Amazing.
Well, if you enjoyed X-Rated, please like, review, and subscribe. We would, if you could review us on whatever platform you listen to us on, that would be awesome. That actually goes a long way towards helping other people see us. And we would like to bring this to as many people as possible because we have a lot of fun. And
yes, we do. And hopefully you two are having
I guess
fun.
That just leaves we will catch you next time.
What make you think they're gonna be another time?
Well, because there's 4 more seasons. Anyway, Gambit. Catch you later, everybody. 1, 2, 3.